Come on, come on. Thank you. Please remain standing for just a couple of seconds. Everybody reach up and grab some of this energy because there's healing, there's hope. Come on, put it where you need it. Come on, get a little of it. Put some on the person next to you. Sprinkle it around the room a little bit. And put a little bit of it in your pocketbook or your purse and take some of it home with you. Clap your hands once again, all you people. Thank you. You may be seated. The word music comes from the word muse, which means to think, and we interjected in these services, all of them, strategically. And each sound triggers a vibration in your body as well as in your mind and your spirit. It's called the science of the musings, thought. To amuse is the opposite, which is to stop thinking. And that has its place too. This is a thinking church combining itself with a feeling church. It makes us wonderful Unicostals. Feelings are important. Everybody has them. But the universe doesn't judge you so much by what you feel as by what you think about what you feel. And what you think about what you think about what you feel. And then what you think about that. Because thoughts are creative, they're inventive, they're powerful. You have to be careful about the images you allow to rest in your brain or in your thought life, because images are like magnets. They literally draw you toward them. The word repent, metanoia in Greek. Meta, change, the nous, the mind. Doesn't mean to say I'm sorry. It means to rethink. Or after you've thought, think again. To basically reconsider. And here we are, reconsidering what we believe and why we believe it, and how those beliefs add to or subtract from the quality of our lives. Then there's a certain ambiance, a certain transcendence that we experience, and are going to experience it more in these services and express them, where we actually go into kind of a semi-trance. That's where the word transcendence comes from. When's the last time you went into a real good trance and you weren't using weed? I never had any inclination toward the use of pharmaceuticals in that sense, because there is a place and space and pace you can connect to in the ether or otherness of reality. And it relieves you of tension and stress and duress. Healing, the English word heal, comes from the original idea that the divinity that people call God was male, and so it's heal or hail. Hael. It's a salutation, like the word Hallel is the actually Hebrew word for Lucifer. It's only once in Scripture in the book of Isaiah. Lucifer is a Latin term from the word luz, which means light. But it means light or enlightenment or illumination. They sort of meant that when they would say Heil Hitler, they're praising Hitler. That's an ugly thought. It's an ugly reminder of some of the ugliest ways we can Hallel. But when in Jewish language or Hebrew, it's Hallelujah, Hallelujah, for Yahweh, the self-existent, self-sustaining reality that we sometimes call God. Even atheists every once in a while will say, God, what a cheat. Oh, for heaven's sake. Why the hell do you believe in God? You know, that kind of attitude. And here at All Souls, we got all that. And we love it. We love the diversity. We love the mystery. We love the expression. We are all of that. This is All Souls. Turn to someone and say, all. Gina and I and my daughter Majesty is back. Julian's still in Chicago, but we are so glad to be home. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. 40 years of root and fruit in the same city makes it home. Of course, my mom and them is here. And one of the main reasons we came back is because they're aging. And they need their family around them. They need us around them. We need to be around them. And we're aging. And the funny thing about aging is it ain't really that funny. Like I'm trying to get through because I need to go pay a water bill, and I hope I can get through this whole sermon with. I was debating whether I should leave during the prayer, but it was so good. I asked God to help me hold it till I get through. And half of y'all in here know exactly what I'm talking about. Been there, done that. The thirst for wholeness and, I love you more, Marion. Thank you. Thank you. The thirst for wholeness is our topic that the pastor has assigned to us today. And I'm actually paraphrasing the word wholeness for the word exactness or precision. If you were to ask me what I want most in life as a human being, it would be to be and live as accurately as is possible. To be precisely, exactly who I can be and who I'm called and coded to be. That is what my wholeness is. There's healing. Exactly, or exact means precisely, entirely, absolutely, completely, totally, thoroughly, just quite in every way, in every respect, 100%, every inch and every iota, without discrepancy or discord, me. Turn to someone and say, I gotta be me. That's all I am anyway. But who is that? Life, as you've heard me say sometimes here, is basically, and for many people, little less than a sexually transmitted disease. Or dis-ease. Your mama and them was intimate, whether you knew them or whether they knew each other well. Could have been a one-night stand, but here you are. Sexually transmitted dis-ease, which means tension. Tension is a strained state or condition resulting from forces or farces that oppose each other. Many of the farces are just, in theater, a farce is a comedy that aims at entertaining the audience through situations that are highly exaggerated, extravagant, thus improbable. Most of the things you go through are imaginations and exaggerations of another reality that you missed, that has come to teach you, not taught you or torture you. Everything works. All the ingredients work together. All things work in concert. Everything, every part of you, every mood, every model, every modality. Your wholeness consists of variety, of diversity. Now, we call ourselves universalists in the sense that we mean one verse, version, or versification of a whole. Turn to the person next to you and say, I'm really happy that you don't look like me. and then say, and then add this, while we're on the subject, I'm really glad I don't look like you. So we come into this world. For me, it's 61 years ago, 62 in March. My dad's 87, my mom's 84. Oh yeah, I'm up there. Gina and I used to make fun of her. She used to call me her senior citizen husband. She's about 9 years younger. Now she's wearing reading glasses and stumbling around. And we came here to help our parents. My mom and dad, we got to come home when they wanted to go get a pedicure, get their nails filed. My dad only understands getting the nails filed. So they go to this place, the pedicurist, the pedicure to get a pedicure, but mother gets mixed up. She says, "My husband and I would like to have a pedophile." One for him and one for me. I thought, Lord, I gotta go home. My God. And the pedicure said, "We're trying to get him too, so come on in." This sexually transmitted disease we call life is basically incurable, but not untreatable. It's terminal because we all go through the experience of the transition we call death. So how do we treat the dis-ease of living, or the feeling of fragmentation, or being parceled out and not whole? Our thirst for wholeness. In a sense, our search for wholeness or maximize the experience of ourselves is for the original, what I like to call Adamic nudity, or nakedness, normalcy, or knowledge. The scripture says Adam and Eve were naked and felt no shame. That's a sort of an interesting, when's the last time you were naked and felt no shame? Most people are very uncomfortable about their own personal nudity. You can be in the shower, get out of the shower or the bathtub, and the first thing you do is grab a towel. Ain't nobody in there but you. What you trying to hide? If you don't want to see you, you know I don't want to see you. But it's conditioned thinking that there's something wrong with us, that there's something lacking or less or limited about us. And the great search of the soul is to be fully realized. I call it self-actualization, to be actually, factually, functionally, and punctually you. Just me. And then the other part of that is, who is that? Because we spend our lives, as you've heard me say before, impersonating, most of us, who we think people want us to be. And in the process, we never get to know who we are. And when we really show up, we're startled. You've been an imposter so long, when the real you stands up. What was that the program came on back in the 60s? Truth or Consequences. Will the real whoever stand up? I used to watch that. And I was never one of those characters. Will the real you stand up? Now, interestingly, the Hebrew word naked is the word arom, from the word aram, which means to be exposed, or to be cunning or smooth or suave or slick or crafty or subtle or prudent, to be aware. Adam and Eve were aware. The word subtle and naked are the same words. The serpent was more crafty. That was a subtle job. That's going to have to change, son. I'm glad that someday we'll have a new church, because this pulpit is messy. It's so creepy up here if you look at stuff all. But anyway, that's beside the point. Talking about search for wholeness. This needs to be. Adam and Eve it says the serpent was more crafty or more subtle than any of the other creatures. The word crafty or subtle is the same word for naked, that Adam and Eve were naked. It really means you're vulnerable, you're exposed, and you shouldn't be ashamed. You're exposed to and exposed as, and out of the exposure comes expression based on experience. Turn to the person next to you and say, "Who are you?" Conscience, conscience means with knowledge or with knowing. Science, sacred science, secret science. It means knowledge of knowledge. It means knowing that you can know. Awareness of reality. We're on a knowing, conscious journey to discover, I like to say, recover or reclaim or reconnect or reconcile to our own magical, mysterious, amazing, wonderful self. The part of us that we know exists. And that's why we are offended if somebody says something demeaning or insulting to us. Because deep down in our heart, you know there is nothing wrong with you. I believe we're created in the image and likeness of whatever God might be, whoever God might be, and that anything else is an illusion. I am good as I am. When I accept that and think it, when I say I'm good as I am, I'm saying I'm God with a little g. I'm a divine entity. I believe that our search is to reclaim and reconnect to our powerful divinity, our ability to be. We're not human doings, we're human beings. But we spend a lot of our times doing, hoping somebody will like what we do. That's why many athletes and high-profile people have struggles with depression and suicide, because everybody likes them, they think, primarily for what they do. Never, in all my years of saying stuff, preaching, Marlon, nobody seems to really have paid attention to what I was saying until I started saying something new. They only paid attention to what I did. He sings, he builds, he this. Coming back to Tulsa has been surreal and very real. Surreal and so real to us. I'm able to drive for the first time since we left Higher D. I've been able to drive past our property on 86 without any grief. This is the first time. I told it to my wife. Driving past it, I didn't feel sorry for me. I wasn't upset with anybody that bought it. I went through some stuff. Y'all don't know. I went through some changes. Some people you want to kill them and tell God you found them dead. You get to heaven and say, God, see what had happened is. Now I'm evolving, I'm revolving. I've sort of come back to the scene of the crime and of my prime. In my book, God is Not a Christian, I have a whole chapter titled, What You Want Wants You. Because what you want is you. Let me read just a little portion of it. The loneliest moment in your life, and I've read this here before, is not when you lose friends, family, or things. You are loneliest or most lonely when you are away from, unaware of, or missing part of yourself, your soul. You are most lonely and depressed when you have lost your essence or forgotten who you are. And because of this, I call it our spiritual amnesia, we've become transient souls, all but spiritual vagabonds, seeking our own self, our forgotten self, the one we somehow and somewhere mislaid or misplaced, and in some cases replaced with an imposter. Eckhart Tolle says in his book, The New Creation, in the seeing of who you are not, the recognition of who you are emerges. Once everything sort of shifted in my life, I even struggled with sometimes being called Bishop Pearson because I don't fit the model as much, and I'm not sure I want to. Titles do constrict you, they constrain you, they limit you. Whether it's pastor, apostle, evangelist, and I can wear all of those titles. We're all performance-oriented and we're all role-playing, whether that's daddy, mama, husband, wife, son, daughter, preacher, lawyer, judge, God. We play roles. All of us are role-playing. And most of us are very good at it. And there's nothing wrong about that. It's the problem of who are you, or the question of who are you when you're not playing that particular role. It's stunning to be naked and feel no shame. When I say naked, I also mean vulnerable, exposed, liable to anything, including what some would perceive as danger or as hurt. Some of us are so careful, we'll never be dareful, and you will never achieve anything until you dare. So I like living on the edge. It's almost like if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. You're limiting yourself. Make room for yourself. Tell the person to say, scoot over just a little bit. Give me some space. Give me a little space in there. Now, our thirst for wholeness, or exactness, I like to say, is our thirst, our desire, our hunger for being and living on purpose and by design. Design, assign, resign, sign, signature, signal, significance. Last week, Pastor talked about our thirst or search for meaning or for significance. Our thirst or search for significance, signature. We want to be endorsed or to endorse so we can cash that check. What sign do you send out into the universe? You are actually emanating a sign right now as I speak to you. Something's coming from me and something's coming from you. One lady said to the preacher, you need to smile more in the pulpit, and I don't like the way you dress, and we gotta look at you. And the preacher said, well, I gotta look at you just like you gotta look at me. Now, I don't like that dress you wearing. What energy are you sitting for? One lady shouted out to the preacher one time, said, because the preacher noticed that the little boy next to her was asleep, and the preacher was insulted, and he said, lady, wake up that little boy, right from the pulpit. And she said, you wake him up, you put him to sleep. Boring. Now, why are we here? That's kind of an infinite question. Why are we here? We are here because we know something, JD. We are here. You are here. You exist because you know something. You may have forgotten it or misplaced it, but in your spirit, you're aware. Everything you seek for in life is a part of that which you know. Why are we always looking for love or prosperity or security or satiation or wholeness? We're always doing something to experience ourselves at a different level. Because you remember at some point, I'd like to say, in perhaps a pre-incarnate reality or existence, pre-incarnation, before you were incarnated in flesh or incarcerated in these bodies. In another reality, you'll hear me say repeatedly, what if we chose to come here but forgot it? What if in some pre-incarnate reality we entered a contract with creation? We made a covenant with creation to come to this plane or planette or plan of consciousness to walk out and live out our divinity and reconnect with our true self. I think we're all on a journey to self-recovery. I just want to experience. I'm 61 years old and I'm still learning how to experience me at my highest level, at my whole or most exact, precise, accurate self. Tired of role-playing. You? Are you? You've been a mother all these years, or a father all these years, or a provider. You've mastered the craft. Maybe that was God. You've mastered the craft and the crap of living, dancing around, trying to fit, trying to find your place, trying to feel comfortable in your skin, scratching, digging, pulling, whatever you could do. This ain't it. This is not doing it for me. I'm professional and I'm good. I got the degrees. I got income. I was restless for several years right here. In preaching, when I had the churches and the crowds and all that kind of stuff and traveling all over the world, I have no regrets for my past, but I kept feeling restless. It was like a chef, a good chef, preparing a good meal and everybody enjoys it but him or her. It's like everybody likes your work but you. You don't enjoy being you. I was cool with being Bishop Pearson, Pastor Pearson, founder, friend of whoever I was friends with. Now I realize there wasn't that many friends, it was just a whole bunch of acquaintances. These are my friends, my posse. A few little folks around the planet are my posse, which means the word posse actually comes from the idea of possible. You have a posse of people who help make things possible in your life. That's what that means. Your life is full of possibilities. You'll have a few people in your life who will really be there for you. Talk to me, somebody. And while you're thinking about that, what few people are you there for? Turn to somebody and say, I'm not a victim of circumstances. I'm a victor over them. So why are we here? We're here because we know something. We all are. And we all know. We've just forgotten what we know and replaced it with what we believe. Come on, marinate on that a little bit. Ruminate on that a little bit. We replace what we know with what we believe. And what you believe is what you've been taught or what you've been told, but not necessarily experienced. We've traditionally and historically been told and taught to deny ourselves, even doubt our inner truths, question them, and thus to deny ourselves and deny our souls. And to deny is defined as basically refusing to admit the truth or existence of something. Ask yourself, what are you denying about you, and why are you denying it? Your basic conflict comes between what your soul knows, and your soul has memory. Your cells are carrying on conversations right now as we speak. The thirst for wholeness. Thirst means you want to be hydrated. It's really a metaphor for spirit. You are 80% water. Physiologically. There are 100,000 miles of arteries flowing through your body right now as we speak, enough to circle the globe 4 times. And in those arteries are vamping and corsating blood or moisture or water, salt water. That's why vibrations are so important. When you hear sounds, it causes, as I've said to you before, reactions in your body on a cellular and cellular level. You're giving off vibes and vibrations right now. You are moisture. So your thirst comes from your desire to reconnect with your spirit. Who was it, Deepak Chopra, I think, that said that we're not just human beings looking for spiritual experiences. We are spirit having an earthly encounter. We have a mind, we have a body, but we are spirit. That's our essence. That's our moisture. That's our mystery. That's the mist story of who we are. Don't be ashamed to tell somebody you're divine. Say it, I'm divine. I'm reconnecting with my divinity, the other part of me, the real part of me, my memory. I'm having all these what I call these spiritual deja vus. It's like, damn, wait a minute, I knew this. I forgot they told me before I signed up for this. I checked in for this. I forgot I entered that covenant. So I've been squirming, thinking that I didn't expect this. You knew it before you got here. And everything you need to survive it and thrive it and arrive, you already have, you already are. Give somebody a high five and say, I got this, I got it. Come on, say it again, I got this. Saying you do too. And the reason you have it is because you are it. You can do this. I think we're going to create something in this community that is incomparable, but will be an example of what can and should take place in a lot of places on this planet. Right here at All Souls. Do me a favor, just 2 seconds to that organ, David. I just got to hear a little Hammond B3. And then we're just about out of here because, you know, we're Unitarians and we have short services. Oh, I'm sorry, we're Unicostals and we use Hammond B3s every once in a while. Wrap your arms around yourself like this. We're almost finished. Say, all things work together. I think I read this to you when I was here before. I'm going to close with it. And it's called loving the wrong person. And I want to say this in connection with all the variables in life. Please look at me for a second. All the variables in life that make you complete and whole, some of which are distasteful or uncomfortable or not comforting, because that's part of the package. We're all seeking that special person who is right for us. But if you've been through enough relationships, and some of you have, you begin to suspect there's no right person, just different flavors of wrong. Now, why is this? Because you yourself are wrong in some way, and you seek out partners who are wrong in some complementary way. But it takes a lot of living to grow fully into your own wrongness or wholeness. And it isn't until you finally run up against your deepest demons, your unsolvable problems, the ones that make you truly who you are, that you're ready to find a lifelong mate or business or dream. Only then do you finally know what you're looking for. You're looking for the wrong person, but not just any wrong person, the right wrong person. Someone you lovingly gaze upon and think, this is the problem I want to have. Turn to somebody near and dear to you and say, you the problem I want to have. I will find that special person, ministry, or church who was wrong for me in just the right way. Now wrap those arms around yourself. And you know who criticizes you more than anybody on the planet? You answered it yourself. You've, in many ways of your life, consistently felt wrong or inadequate or not quite enough. And you've tormented and tortured your own soul, trying to get everybody else to like you, and you don't even like you. Forgive yourself. Reclaim. I've come back home to reclaim myself, my soul. The years of rejection and dejection and the feelings of inadequacy and failure, and having gone so far in life, and then all of a sudden everything is gone, and I not publicly shed a tear. A few times my own baby girl had to sit and watch me cry. Nothing is more humiliating for a father than for his daughter to be present when he had a little breakdown. And it was about feeling whole, my thirst to be all that I'm called and coded to be. And it began with forgiving myself for not living up to somebody else's standard about what that means and how that manifests. And now I'm in a place where I can really enjoy, Pam, being me at this level and evolving into my next level. Do this and shift a little energy around. Just like, come on. Now turn to somebody and do like this. I love you. I bless you. Let's make this a powerful expression in the universe. I'll see you again next month.